Alright guys, welcome back. I think we are live. Let me type in hello in the chat. If you guys can see and hear me, say hello. This is another unscheduled live event, sort of. If anybody's there, please say hello. I need to start posting these on a regular basis so you guys can know when I will drop or come online. MC Strap, hello. Thank you, MC. How you doing this evening? Hope all is well. Just finished my dinner. Yeah, this is unscheduled, so we probably won't have a lot of people for this evening. Things seem to work out better when I post a schedule up, 2 or 3 days in advance, and then people can join in and chat. Like that one time I posted a few days ahead of time. We had between 25-30 people, and that was cool. Dagan, how are you? What's up? MC Strap is good. Cool. I'm getting used to this OBS broadcaster and streaming mode. Hopefully this will hold up pretty good. See if a few more people can jump on, and we'll have a little chat, and then we'll call it a night. How does that sound? There is a little rainstorm coming in, so hopefully the power won't go out. If the power goes out, you guys will know why. So if the power goes out, I'll just put something in the chat, and I'll catch you guys next time, just to keep it simple. So yes, the channel did pass 8,000 subscribers, I noticed today after I woke up. So thank you for 7 years of Total OS Today, and the many comments, subscribers, the chats, the podcasts, the live events, the tutorials, and the list goes on and on. It's been quite an adventure. And to think this started off as really just a hobby. March of 2010, I wanted to... I was on a quest. I was on a quest for knowledge, for technology, really at that time specifically Linux. And I didn't want, just Windows users telling me that Windows is best. Of course, if all you use is Windows, and Windows is the best. If all you use is Linux, of course, Linux is the best. I wanted a Windows user to tell me straight up, no nonsense, if it's good or bad. So I thought to myself, instead of complaining, I'll do it. And I'm here. It's that simple. So... got some notes here. Let me just do this. It'll make it easier for me. Give me 1 second. Came across this. Let me go to my other screen here. Give me 1 second. This is from this webpage. This is just a screenshot. I believe this is from TubeFilter. And it's talking about the so-called YouTube adpocalypse that might be here to stay. I don't know if it's here to stay. I think it's here to stay this year. Maybe next year. I don't know. YouTube now is in a state of flux. It's in a state of change. It's in a state of adjustment. The ad revenue, the AdSense revenue, that's affecting, my guess is, a substantial amount of YouTubers. It's quite serious, and probably some YouTubers may not make it. May not make it through the end of the year. I think what's happened in the past. Well, I know what's happened in the past. A lot of YouTubers who were talking about or had content that was the subject of questionable content, or content that was not so-called family-friendly content, that it's not something I would watch or do. Those content creators, they were able to get away with questionable content. Margin, hello. Julian, welcome aboard. Thank you for stopping by. So yeah, the tubers, well, I suppose the popular tubers who had hundreds of thousands of subscribers, 1 million or more, who were posting non-friendly content, The advertisers, my guess is they had enough. They did not want their advertisements, whether it's Coca-Cola, Pepsi, GM, AT&T, the list goes on and on. They didn't want their family-friendly products on those types of YouTube videos. I suppose they have a right to, and there's been a boycott, the so-called adpocalypse. Now, the problem with this adpocalypse, it just doesn't affect them. It affects a lot of people. I won't say everybody, but people like me who have nothing to do with this so-called apocalypse are getting hit pretty bad. And it's been a challenge this year to keep the channel alive and going and paying all the bills for the channel. But I don't know if the apocalypse is here to stay in the long term. I think this will eventually get fixed or adjusted. It remains to be seen what's the end game for all of this. I had a couple notes here. Let's see, give me 1 second. William Armstrong, welcome aboard. Thank you for stopping by. Let's see, what do I have here? And yes, if we have any newbies joining, I would suggest you, if you wanted to try Linux, why not try Ubuntu Mate or Ubuntu Mate. Basically, I like anything with Mate, Linux Mint Mate, and the list goes on. So if you are a newbie, it's okay, because let's face it, we were all newbies. And you know how I can prove that? When you're born, you're a baby, and that automatically makes you a newbie, doesn't it? Of course it does. So welcome aboard, any Linux newbies who happen to watch this. So if you are a YouTuber or thinking about starting a YouTube channel, I wrote down 3 tips for anybody who wants to get involved with producing content. Now, this is putting aside the issue of the AdSense and stuff. If you just want to do it for fun, I would suggest you post videos just with your mic or with the audio. It's going to be a lot easier for you to get comfortable doing videos or tutorials just with the microphone. It's going to be a lot easier to edit if you have to. The second tip I would suggest is upload in private mode or private first. Play it back and then make any changes or anything down in the show notes that you have to. Then you can change that to public. And then the final tip, and this is just 3 quick, easy tips. If you hook up a camera and the mic, make sure that people can see and hear you. Don't have your kids screaming or the cat screaming or the dogs fighting and stuff like that. So, anyway. Let's see. William, you are welcome. I am unimpacted by the ad misadventure. Yeah, well, cool, man. That's awesome. Yeah, it would be wrong to say everybody is affected, but quite a bit. Or some of the YouTubers that I follow, they have been affected. William, the questionable channels I wouldn't listen to, channels that are well, what's the word can I say, that are just hateful. Those channels either have been banned or they have been demonetized. They've come back and they've switched to other sources of revenue, like PayPal, Patreon, writing books. There's one channel, I won't say the name, it's not my kind of channel, past 1 million subscribers, and it's been very successful with PayPal and Patreon. So I guess what's the word I guess garbage sells. What can I tell you guys? But that's not me. I will never post that kind of content. But yeah, it's with the AdSense revenue, the adpocalypse, it's a hit and miss from what I understand. I wish it wasn't my channel because I didn't do anything. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's look, it's going to vary. YouTube channels, each channel is unique depending on the content, the personality, the frequency of the uploads, the quality of the content, collaborations, and all that stuff. But it has affected quite a bit. There's one channel that I do follow. The channel's quite nice. It is a family channel. I believe that person is closing on 1 million subscribers, which is awesome. And he had asked for help. The AdSense revenue has affected his channel. You would think a person with 1 million or close to 1 million subscribers wouldn't have any problems keeping the channel up, but it's pretty bad even for that person. I kind of felt bad in a way. But such is the nature of YouTube right now. And YouTube really is more than just, it's really an art form. Liam, welcome aboard. Yeah, YouTube, it's an art form, it's a social platform, it's a form of entertainment, infotainment, like whatever you want to call it. And I think what's happened in the past that viewers, I mean, how long has YouTube been around now? 2005, 2006? So a good 10, 11 years, right? Yeah, I started the channel back in 2010, March 2010. I think what's happened in the past that a lot of YouTubers or a lot of viewers would just jump on YouTube and they got comfortable just getting quality content for free, as it were. And in the past, AdSense revenue took care of the budget for that specific channel. So it was kind of like a win-win for the viewer and for the content creator. Now that all of that has changed with advertisers holding back supposedly $1 billion worth of revenue this year. At least that's the thing that I read. But in the past, and it makes sense, viewers got used to free quality content. They got the free content, which was great, and AdSense paid for the channel. Well, now that the AdSense is almost gone, or substantially less for a lot of YouTube channels, including this one, the viewers are still expecting to get free content. And that's okay because a lot of content that is good happens to be free. But if the AdSense revenue doesn't cover it, then that poses a problem for that respective channel. Now, this is just my thought and my speculation on all this. Excuse me. William, you just noticed Tostoday is great. It is barely impact. I joined YouTube in 2009. Oh, you joined it in 2000? Okay, so that was a year before me. That's cool, William. Yeah. What kind of content do you do, William? Like, if I may ask you. Do you do technology stuff? Ryan, welcome aboard. So as far as the notes for the topic, that's all I have right now. Yeah. So there's other factors involved. Hey Ryan, doing okay. I just passed this. I just noticed this weekend I passed 8,000 subscribers. Thank you. It's great. In fact, almost all the analytics on the channel is looking good. Subscribers is up, viewership, watch time, likes versus dislikes, stuff like that is all up, but the AdSense revenue is down, and that's where the channel seems to be struggling right now. So you do videos on tech and Linux. Okay, William, cool. Now there are other factors I was getting here, watch time and friendly versus unfriendly content, and the relevant is the content relevant to what you're saying. Anyway, Julian, first of all, congrats for the work you do. I've been watching your channel for a while. I use Linux personally, professionally for a number of years, not exclusively. Question. Yeah, okay, Julian, what is the question? And Julian, do you have a YouTube channel, or just you just mess with different distros? I'm guessing that's what you do. But sure, ask your question. Do you have a question, Julian? Anyway, where was I here? Yeah, I think I had it there. So I'll put my notes away. Let's see here. I've been using Mate as my desktop of choice, and I also have some machines with XFCE. However, with the latest news about everyone shifting mainly to GNOME, Julian, everyone is not shifting to GNOME. I am not. Ubuntu Canonical, they're shifting to the GNOME desktop. There's a lot of people that I'm guessing like GNOME. There's probably an equal amount that don't. Sorry, I was just catching up here. Wayland having main support for GNOME. Wayland is still in the experimental mode as far as I know, Julian. Should we expect Mate XFCE supporting Wayland soon? That's my guess. Wayland has been around, has been talked about for years. So now with Ubuntu dropping Mir display server, I guess Wayland will be the display standard. That's my guess. I don't know. My guess is give it another 2-3 years for Wayland to be fully supported, if not longer. Maybe not. I'm not sure, Julian, but yeah, I in my backup desktop, I deleted Ubuntu Unity. I put the latest Kubuntu on there, 17.04, because it works pretty good. But right now, I cannot recommend GNOME for beginners as it is. Now, this can change it. It doesn't mean GNOME's not any good. Anyway. Yeah, not everyone's shifting to GNOME, but I was referring to Canonical Fedora. Yeah, I believe Fedora right now in the latest release has Wayland in there that you can turn on or off, if I am not mistaken, Julian. Yeah. Expect everyone soon to switch to Wayland. Wayland is not in the experimental stage. I thought it still was. You would think after 4 or 5 years of development, you would think it would be everywhere, but it's not. So Liam, I don't know. I mean, if it's not in the experimental stage officially, I think that's great. You know that, everyone. Yeah, not me. I did a live event with Ubuntu GNOME. What did I think I may have called it Windows User versus Ubuntu GNOME. I had installer do about 10 tweaks to make that, if I was going to use it, to make that fully functionable, at least for me. But I don't like doing all that work. I just want to install it and go. That's why I use Mate, Ubuntu Mate, Linux Mint Mate. I kind of like Kubuntu. Latest Kubuntu is good. XFCE is easy. So yeah. GNOME only with tweaking. You create a little build of Ubuntu GNOME that actually use it, but it took an hour or two to make. Okay, I don't know if that's good or bad. Yeah, I think GNOME has the potential for, quote, everybody to use it. But I'll never forget it. Back in 2011 when we had GNOME 3, GNOME Shell, and Unity, and Linus Torvalds, the father of Linux, called GNOME Shell an unholy mess. Now maybe he doesn't agree with that now, but hey, he said it, not me. GNOME with a number of extensions is bearable. Unfortunately, only bearable. Not as pleasant as Mate. Yeah, I mean, Mate, whatever you want to call it, it's ready to go as soon as you install. You install it, do some updates, maybe for absolute beginners, a few tweaking here and there. I may do a video on customizing Ubuntu Mate for beginners or something like that. An hour or two to tweak. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay. Yeah, don't you think 2 hours to tweak any distro is a bit much, Liam? That's just my opinion. Now, if it's an absolute beginner, it may take that long. But if you know what you're doing and it still takes that long, I think something wrong somewhere. But that's strictly my opinion, Liam. Yeah. Wow. You got GNOME to look like Windows 10 with Dash Japan. Okay, Julian, sure. That was one of my extensions. Yeah, GNOME, yeah. As long as the extensions don't break or not outdated, Liam, yeah, the tweaks are fine. You can't stand GNOME even with extensions. Uh, with extensions, with all the extensions that I need, GNOME is okay. I'll put it to you that way, but it's not my default desktop. It's just isn't. I mean, if all we had to choose for Linux was GNOME, and that was it, or going back to Windows 10, I hate to say this, between the two, I would stick with Windows 10 because it's set to go out of the box. Period. Now, putting aside all the privacy stuff and all that, I get it. I understand. Ghosty, welcome aboard. Ghosty, this podcast, this video, this live event was just for you because I didn't want to do these late. I know you're 6 hours ahead, right, Ghosty? So, yeah. I just finished my lunch or my dinner about a half hour ago. So, anyway, I'll stick around for a little bit longer. And I may run to get some coffee or something if it doesn't rain. Anyway, you're not a beginner, but I applied a lot of extensions and themes because I hate the Hedwada default GNOME theme. Okay. Yeah, it takes time. GNOME 2 is so much better than 3. I'd have to agree, Liam. Yeah, Mate is really a modern desktop with the pre-Ubuntu Unity look, the old GNOME 2 look, and there's something to be said for simplicity. Look, given a choice, you want to keep it simple or do you want to break your cannolis? It's an Italian expression. You guys choose. Bless you too, matey. Bless you too, Ghosty. Yeah, I understand. I have sometimes when I call Italy, I have to remind myself it's 6 hours ahead. So yeah, that's a sticky subject for sure, Ghosty. Yes, it is. GNOME 3. What can I say? Anybody who hates me saying anything about GNOME 3 because I don't use it, I will refer them to Linus Torvalds' statement 6 years ago that GNOME 3 is an unholy mess. And you guys figure it out. But I'll stick with Ubuntu Mate, Linux Mint Mate. Really, I like anything from Linux Mint for beginners, except Debian takes some tweaking. The latest Ubuntu looks great. I've messed with Debian here and there. PC Linux OS, I have an old machine for stability, you know. GNOME is buggy and slow compared to Mate. Well, I don't know if it's buggy. It is slow. It is resource hungry. With GNOME, in my opinion, to be comfortable as it stands today. Now, this can change. If you don't have at least 4 gigabytes of RAM with Ubuntu GNOME and all the tweaks installed, it's probably not going to run very smooth. You know, you might be able to get away with 2 gigs for an older machine, but yeah, I would say 4 gigs minimum to use GNOME with everything installed to make it easy. You would take Mate over GNOME Shell every day of the week, but if it's GNOME or Windows 10, you'll take GNOME and suffer. Yeah, for me it's the opposite. If I was forced to use GNOME versus Windows 10, I don't know, man. I gotta go with the 10 because I don't have to tweak it. And you know, we've talked about the privacy issue before. Once you get on the web, in my opinion, forget about privacy. Linux to the core. What's up? A true Linux user because his name is Linux to the core. Haddock Dev, hello, hey. 6 years could make an unholy mess, the unholiest mess of them all. MC Strap, it's gotten better. You know, I think when GNOME Shell first came out, it was such a radical change that Linus Torvalds, his first thought was probably not an unholy mess, but WTF in turbo mode was probably his first reaction. Just a thought. Buggy GNOME 16.04 favorites are broken on Dash. Oh yeah, I don't know if extensions have anything to do with that. I don't know, Liam. Yeah, I mean I try to like GNOME even with the extensions. Just too much work. Too much work. How do you use Windows 10? Okay, all right. Is fallback still an option? Yeah, I believe it. I believe it is. Ghost the flash. I believe it's called flashback. I think I tested flashback. I think it works so far. So sure, that's an option. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if it'll break anything, but sure, absolutely. You're curious about the latest desktop survey done by Canonical if they keep GNOME Shell. Julian, they're going to have to customize it. If they don't, I think it's going to be less popular than Unity. I loved Unity. It worked fine. It didn't require too much tweaking. It just, for the most part, it worked. Yeah, fallback or flashback, it is still a GNOME. That is true. You use 3 or 4, okay. 4 or 5 years you use GNOME, there might be better. Okay. You disabled the extension, the same thing happened. Okay. Well then, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, fallback is better than GNOME. I would have to agree. I've used it, it's fine, but Mate is better. Somebody asked me if I was using Kubuntu on my main desktop. What I did, of course, you realize that you guys can install different desktop environments in Linux Mint, Mate. I think I had to install some Kubuntu backports, and I installed the Kubuntu desktop. So when I log in, I can choose between Linux Mint, Mate, or Kubuntu. That way I have a choice of 2 different desktop looks. Now sometimes it can break things, so be careful if you are going to install multiple desktop environments on top of your default, Linux desktop. But it's kind of fun to have different looks just by logging in and have a completely different desktop environment. I just like the way Kubuntu looks. But the latest Kubuntu, they've done a really good job. It doesn't seem to be as resource hungry as the past Kubuntu's. KDE Neon is even lighter, maybe too light for beginners. So yeah. Anybody here mess with the latest KDE or Kubuntu? I was pleasantly surprised. Much improved. I think Quidzip liked it too, yeah. I think he has a modified version of KDE. Canonical seems to be actually replacing the Ubuntu GNOME, so that means they will. Yeah, there's no question. Unity, they have dropped it. The whole idea with convergence is gone. They have made a commitment to GNOME, but even they're kind of worried. That's why they have that survey. What extensions do you want? And out of the box, I think there has to be about 10 extensions. I would have remained on my takes. SCE simply would not care about the GNOME news till I read about Wayland. Okay. Well, I'm going to give Wayland another year or 2 to see what happens if it's really ready for prime time. Nikolai, hello. Welcome aboard. Nikolai, where are you from? You mess with the latest KDE on Arch. Quidzip use KDE Neon customized. Okay, I thought he did. How is KDE Neon, or KDE on Arch rather? Haven't KDE since 3.0. A lot has changed in the last 6 months. A lot has changed in 3 months, 2 months. Yeah, KDE is a massive leap forward in terms of looks, stability, performance. I really like it. You used GNOME recently. I have enjoyed it. I prefer a mixture of mouse and keyboard. Okay, all right. GNOME is definitely more keyboard centric. Yeah, at least with Kubuntu you can use both, keyboard centric and mouse. And you are from Bulgaria, Nikolai. Hi, how are you from Bulgaria? Wow, is the Linux desktop popular in Bulgaria? Yeah, he is using KDE Neon. He used to use Kubuntu. Yeah, KDE Neon is super lightweight. It's great if you don't want a lot of apps pre-installed and just want to build on it. I guess kind of like an Arch where you just install the base Arch system and go from there. But obviously for beginners, I would stick with KDE Neon. I believe the latest Plasma 5.10 is in beta, if I am not mistaken. But on my backup desktop, yeah, I have Kubuntu installed. Seems to run pretty good. There was actually an article today or a few days ago, something about something about the WannaCry ransomware, and there was something on there that forget about malware or something, maybe not exactly in those terms, to switch to Linux. Well, you can get malware in Linux. I don't want to, deceive anybody. It's possible. In your village is famous. Linux is famous, Nikolai, in your village? Okay, I have to ask you, which Linux distro is famous? Is it Ubuntu, Linux Mint? Is it Debian? Or maybe there's a Bulgarian flavor of Linux. I'm curious. I don't think I've ever had anybody stop in from Bulgaria. Very nice. Which Linux, Nikolai? Which Linux is popular? Just curious. Checking the stream here. Looks like we're okay. All right. Yeah, I don't think any of my local friends here really... I don't think they use Linux. I think one or two have dabbled in it. But, yeah, I don't think they really care for it. But that's all right. Arch-based. Wow. Okay. Well, Arch can take a lot of customizing with the base Arch install. You enjoy KDE, maybe a little resource hungry, but it's really nice to cut. Yeah, KDE is definitely customizable. It's not as resource. I mean, it's less resource hungry than Linux Mint, Mate, or XFCE, Linux Lite, sure, but it's not too bad. The latest KDE, like I said, it's much, much improved. It's come a long way. I really like it. I used to recommend Zorin as #1 for beginners, but they switched to the GNOME desktop, and even though it looks great, I can no longer recommend Zorin as my #1 distro for beginners. I have to go with Linux Mint, at least for now. This is, let me see if I can put this on the screen here. Running OBS Broadcaster. This is what my desktop looks like. I don't know if you guys can see this, but anyway, if you guys wanted to mess with OBS Studio, it seems to work okay in both Linux and Windows. Yep. Beginners definitely have to go with Ubuntu Mate. Absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, let me run to the... I have a little fridge here in the garage. I had a can of Coke. I drank it, and my throat's getting a little dry. I'll be right back. Will take me less than a minute. Don't go away, okay? I am back. I just went to get something to drink. I'm drinking seltzer water. Cranberry lime seltzer water, sugar-free. Fix my mic is, can you guys hear me? Fat Elvis is in the house. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. You ain't nothing but a Linux user. Can you guys hear me? Haddock, can you hear me? Fix my mic. Is it not working? Stream looks good. Can you guys hear me? Looks good on my end. You can hear. Okay. Maybe when I switched back and forth on the anyway. Oh my. What's up, Fat Elvis? Oh, right. I forgot all about that. That's true. Sorry about that. That is true. And I knew that. See, I just never occurred to, it's just never occurred to me. I knew that, but anyway, never mind. Yep. Do you like Android apps on Linux? I don't know yet. Ken Masters, welcome aboard. I don't know. Yeah. I think if there is supposed to be a mass marketed Linux desktop, I think Google should do it because Android, phones, tablets, hello. But yeah. So that's my thoughts about Android apps on Linux. I have an Android phone. That's what I use, Ken. But I haven't really messed with Android apps on Linux that much. Of course, we know Android, I believe, is based off of Gentoo Linux, if I am not mistaken. So yeah. Has anybody else here messed with Android apps on Linux? I guess no one has. Okay. Well, for whatever reason, Google has not decided to build a mass-marketed Linux desktop, and Chromebooks do not count. No, those are designed for select market, low end generally, school institutions, stuff like that, and that's fine. Chromebooks are fast; they're relatively easy to learn. You can get one for as little as $150. But yeah, as far as a mass, no, I just had a thought. What is System 76 going to do? Because they make the Ubuntu desktop now that Unity is being dropped. Nbox. I believe I have heard of that. Yes. Yep. I think somebody mentioned that last week, but it's just something I'm just not interested in right now. I think you can customize Linux to make it look like an Android desktop or look like your Android, phone, but it's just something that never really interested me. I don't know. Have you guys ever tried it? Just one of those things where I don't mind tweaking, but as far as that kind of tweaking, it's just not for me. I'm going to try something here. I think if I do this, I think you can see my desktop now, and I don't have the echo effect. I hope. I hope. Anyway, I'm still learning OBS Studio, but this is my desktop. Yep, they will continue to sell. Well, they have no choice. On one of the Ubuntu podcasts, I think one of the commentators said that half the customers who buy System 70 Switch, they don't want the Ubuntu Unity. They install something else. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. Anyway, You think mobile and desktop should have a thin line between them? A thick line between them. MC Strap, what do you mean? Have a thick line. You mean you want them completely separated? I don't know. No echo. Thanks, Adam. Yeah. Yeah, I just had to make an adjustment there in the sources settings. So anyway, this is what my desktop looks like running this. So I mean, Ubuntu tried the so-called convergence and it didn't work. But, you know, there are people like myself who would like to walk into a store and look at a, you know, Linux desktop, just out of curiosity, if anything else. But since a lot of us have Android products, phones, tablets, you know, why not a Google Android desktop / Chrome OS Android desktop? Well, I don't know the percentage of people that liked or didn't like Unity. I did. I liked it from the beginning. And it was my choice over Ubuntu GNOME. So yeah. You've used the base Ubuntu distro before, but never really cared about it. You've always come back to KDE or Mate. Yeah. I've tried before the current Kubuntu or KDE. I've tried it in the past, never quite got into it. But now I do. And I've liked Mate. I think Linux Mint was one of the first distros to incorporate the old GNOME 2 look, which is Mate is really based off. And God, since 2008, 2009, it's been a while, but I've always liked Mate. And if anybody's wondering, it is pronounced Mate and not Mate. The developer for Ubuntu Mate doesn't really care what you call it, but just to be picky, it is pronounced Mate and not Mate. Personally, I don't care either what you want to call it, but maybe call it something different. Instead of Ubuntu Mate, Ubuntu Easy, Ubuntu, or I don't know. The success of Linux Mint is based on the fall of Unity. Part of it, but Linux Mint was around before Unity. And I think they had a following back then, but to a certain point, yes. People who did not like GNOME Shell didn't like Unity. People who strictly liked the Ubuntu pre-Unity days, Mate was a savior. Absolutely. Mini ISO, yeah, Ghosty, that's one way to absolutely do it. Yeah, sure. I've never messed with that personally. I think with Debian, you can do a net install, if I'm not mistaken, Ghost, and you can choose a desktop environment. I think there's like 7 of them, 5. No, I lost track, and then go from there. Ubuntu Mate should be called Ubuntu still in 2010. Well, 2010, I don't think Ubuntu Mate was around in 2010. I need to do another talk and interview with Martin Wimpress, the man responsible for giving us Ubuntu Mate, just to see how things have progressed the last couple of years. My guess, excuse me, my guess is things have progressed pretty good, if I had a guess. Yeah. I'm curious to see what Ubuntu GNOME looks like on the LTL release. I'm not counting the next one because it's only 9 months support, but I'm waiting for the next year's one. Yeah. Maybe I might try it. Probably will, but it's hard to beat a good mate, right, mate? Belgian Madbox Respin. Don't know that one. Mate started with 14.04. Okay. All right. Yeah, Martin created that distro because his wife didn't like whatever. I forget what it was, what his wife is using, and he created it at first for her. You know, how romantic, right? Anybody mess with Tails? Uh, yeah, I think that's one of the distros that's built on privacy. Don't show. I'm not sure how private you can be nowadays, but yeah. Probably wrap this up around 7 o'clock, guys, just to let you know. And all of you, thanks for stopping by the way. If you wish to support the channel, Patreon and PayPal is the best way to do it. Bad Wolf Plays, what's up? MC Strap, what did you think of Tails? Okay, so is Tails easy to install? Does it work? Did it crash? Is it for beginners? It has a Windows lookalike mode. Really? Did not know that, MC. Okay, so does it run slow, especially when you get on the web? Or is it barely noticeable? When I use Tor, it can run considerably slower. Doing good? Everyone's doing fine. We've been talking about different subjects, including Ubuntu Mate and the Mate desktop, something for beginners. For those of you joining in late, thank you for this weekend. The channel passed over 8,000 subscribers. I suppose in the whole scheme of things, it's not a lot considering there are billions of people watching nowadays on the internet. But still, it's something to be said. So thank you again. You have to install it from an existing installation. Okay. It uses Tor. Okay, that's what I figured. I think there's one more that's private. I can't think of the name. Besides Tails. Yeah, I can't think of it right now. Yep, Linux Lite is good too. XFC is light. Yeah. In Windows 10, there's a browser called Epic that I believe it's built around privacy that I think I've used before. I know it's kind of funny to say privacy in Windows 10, but hey, in case you guys are curious, I think my next full install will be, I have a KDE Neon in my Toshiba test laptop, but I think I'll delete that since I'm running Kubuntu and just install Ubuntu Mate and maybe install some, some tweaks, some apps that I think beginners may want to, that might help out some beginners. Kali, I've never messed with Kali. Anonymous OS, maybe that was a ghosty. I thought that was a different one, yeah. There's a private Windows 10 Enterprise LTSB. Okay. LTSB. It sounds like a planet in one of the Alien movies. By the way, I went to see Alien last night. It was pretty good. Alien Covenant. I wonder if the ship uses Linux. No clue. Privacy and Win 10 don't go together. By default, no. But once you get on the web, well, the latest KDE Ghosty is awesome. Running it on my backup desktop, it seems to run. Performance has improved. Not as resource hungry. I like it a lot. It does. It just feels good. Yeah. So great strides for the Kubuntu team. Very good. I like it a lot. I think I will be keeping that in my backup desktop unless something changes, Ghosty. Yeah. No telemetry, no store. Yeah, I guess so. But when I play games, it's usually in Windows 10 or my Xbox One. Yeah. I love playing my Asphalt 8 Airborne. Yeah, the latest one I believe is Plasma 9. I think Plasma 10 is in beta, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Ghosty. Yeah, it just feels lighter. Yeah. And of course, it is customizable. Yeah. I still don't know why there's no default audio manager with level meters. You know, like you see in Ubuntu Mate or anyway, that should be there by default, especially when you're trying to adjust your mic. Yeah, Ken, I saw Prometheus back when Prometheus was uneven. I think a movie like that had to be done to explain. Well, I don't want to give any spoilers away, but I mean, Prometheus is visually stunning. I thought the ending was perfect, but there were some scenes that were just dumb. But that being said, it was overall. I would give Prometheus a thumbs up. So get Windows 10 Enterprise, basically a Windows 7 that looks like 10. Okay. Paw View Control, PAV. Yeah, that's in the App Store, Fat Elvis. I use that, but like when you use Ubuntu Unity or Linux Mint Mate, in the drop-down audio settings, you can. There's a volume meter there that's built in by default. It's not PAVU control. It's just there by default. Anyway, but Paw View Control is okay. Why is this stream in 720? Liam, is it okay? Because I dropped it down a notch to help prevent crashing or buffering and all that. With the current Comcast service I have, it's reliable, but I have the middle package. I don't have the fastest one. That's one thing I was hoped to upgrade this year, but with all the AdSense nonsense, I haven't been able to squeeze in really much inside the budget. I hope it's good enough, but anyway, I would imagine 720 for most should be okay. Basically, Windows 7 that looks like 10 reminds me of when Linus built a Windows 9 mod. Okay. You love the way the engineers seeded the planet in Prometheus. Yeah, that was a cool concept. Yeah. Yeah, I guess there were a few deleted scenes. In fact, I know there were a few deleted scenes in Prometheus that should have been kept in. The one scene, I won't spoil it, where one of the crew members gets infected and he comes back to the ship. In the one scene, it was much more gross than what they showed. That should have been kept in there, in my opinion. But don't complain about your internet speed. The fastest you can get is live is 5 megabytes. Okay, all right. Well, I hope it's good enough, guys. Yeah, like I said, there are different levels of speed of performance here with Comcast. I guess something in the middle. Megabits. Okay, yeah. If you go to How to Geek, there's the article called Windows 10 without the cruft. Long-term servicing branch. Okay. Okay. The cruft. Interesting. I wonder how much that is. The LTSB. That still sounds like an alien planet. It's actually what, LV 226 or 426 or something like that. Anyway. Now the long-term servicing branch is that for companies or for consumers? Your internet is 350 megabits per second. Okay. Yeah, in the somewhere out west, I'm in Ohio. I believe Google has gigabit speed that I heard is really really fast, but not cheap. Um, I'm not sure if it's part of the Google fiber, but they've been testing it out in the middle of the country, and I heard it's really really fast. I'm guessing probably between $70 to $100 a month just for the internet. You got it for the business. Okay, got it. Okay. Yeah, I forget the fastest I could get with Comcast. I don't remember. I have to look. Yeah, but anyway, this will have to do for now. I got the triple play package, by the way. The TV, the phone, and the internet. I think it's still called triple play. It is called Google Fiber. Okay, thanks. I think you mean 10 gigabit speed. I'm not sure about the specs, Liam. Yeah. I think they started doing this last year. Ron, check out the latest version of Maui. I think I looked at that last year. And I think, Ron, for some reason, Maui looks wowie comes to mind. Do you use Maui Linux? The broadband still copper phone cables to the exchange. Oh, ghosty. Okay. Google Fiber starts with connection that's up to 1,000 megabits per second. Ah. Thanks, Haddock. Okay. Yeah, it's fast. $84 a year per system, Bad Wolf. Okay. Per year or per month? Per year? Okay. That sounds like a good deal if it's per year. Haddock, did it say where exactly Google Fiber is on that website? Just out of curiosity. KDE Neon fully loaded. Okay, got it. Thank you, Ron. Maui Wowie, something they smoked in a Cheech and Chong movie. Ghosty, I don't know. Was it? I mean, I know Cheech and Chong. That's not what I was getting at. Maui Wowie. Oh, man. Well, there goes the advertising AdSense on this stream. Not family friendly. I'm just kidding. Oh my. So many Linux distros, it's crazy. But I think I did look at Maui last year, and I think I liked it. But I'll take a look if it has the latest KDE. Sure, why not? On I think it was on Linux Quest's one of his videos, or Big Daddy Linux. I think I said you should just call this the bunny hopping Linux distro channel or something. Yeah, Ron. Post a link to the clip. Yeah, I think Ron from Linux Quest or Rob, sorry, and Rocco from Big Daddy Linux, they do more hopping than an Easter bunny in terms of Linux distros. Yeah. Per year, but in order to get, you have to own an enterprise license. Got it, Bad Wolf. Okay. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. KDE doesn't run well in a virtual box. Really? Oh. Okay. I thought I tried Neon in a virtual box, or maybe I didn't. Can't remember. I got it as a full install in my laptop, which originally had Vista, 4 gigs of RAM. It's fine, but I don't know. I can't remember if I tested it in a VBox. Maybe not. Did you try installing the extensions, Liam? It still didn't work. Not too. Most Linux distros should work pretty good in VBox. You distro hop all the time. I used to do that. 10 years ago when I was curious about Linux, I must have had a stack of bootable CDs, like 100 of them, maybe more. Of course, now I don't do that anymore. But yeah, I did it all the time. And back then, there weren't too many good. Tried Neon and VMware Player. So yeah, sometimes VMware may work better than Oracle's VirtualBox. So try that maybe, sure. Checking my messages here on my phone. All right. All right, Ghosty, thanks. I'll have to take a look at that later. But yeah, to have blazing speeds like Google Fiber would be awesome. Be cool. Let's see. Paying for enterprise. It was originally $124 a year per system. So now it's $84. Okay. Terrible performance in VBox. VM Workstation normally. But VBox is awful in 3D. VMware is better than VirtualBox. I have to try. I don't know. Okay, so it is serving Atlanta, Austin, Charlotte, Kansas City, Nashville, Orange County, Provo, Salt Lake City, and the Triangle. Just not in Ohio. Okay. Multiple places. I'm assuming it's reliable. You still like Ubuntu for its simplicity, however, Maui is easy for XP. Okay, I'll have to take a look at it again. Fiber.com. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'll take a look at that later. GNOME boxes. Bad Wolf, how does GNOME boxes work out? I've never used GNOME boxes. Is it easier? Is it more reliable? Is it faster? I mean, I use both VMware Workstation and Oracle. Yes. Yes, I do have it on my desktop. I was just going to say I have it. You are correct. But I don't think I have KDE Neon in this one. I can't remember. No, right now I don't have anything right now. I may have tested KDE Neon in a VBox in my Linux Mint side, but updates, remind me later. Yeah, but VM Workstation works fine, yeah. It's easier and faster. Yeah, I guess it is a little bit smoother, a little bit faster. Don't know if it's easier than Oracle. I have to look at it again. But yeah, I mean, it works fine for me, so yeah. GNOME boxes is QEMU easier, so will normally give better performance than VirtualBox, but VMware still seems to be better. Okay, Liam, yeah. I think I heard something. I saw something on GNOME boxes on the Noobs Lab website, if I'm not mistaken. But for beginners, yeah, I think VBox is a perfect way to try a Linux distro, or just to use a bootable USB stick. Perfectly safe. How's the stream health? Orange, I guess it's okay. Yeah, I'm curious to see what that canonical survey, what will they end up with in terms of the extensions. But it's going to need a good 10 extensions, uh, at least for beginners, at least in my live test anyway. But I think I deleted it. Yeah, I just don't want to mess with it. For 3D distros like Kitty and Gnome, I recommend using VMware Player. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think a year or two back, I think I had to use VMware to test something because it didn't work that good in Oracle's VirtualBox. Forget what the issue was, but in that situation, it was easier to run something in VMware, yeah. Canonical server you wrote only has a couple options. I think when I saw it, Liam, you had I think Liam, I think there were 6 choices. Maybe it's changed. Yeah. Okay, Ghosty, have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. I'll try and do another one at a more godly hour. So my UK friends can join in. Of course, we all know what the UK stands for. Ubuntu Kingdom. Haha. Take care, Ghosty. Cheers. Yeah, I'll probably wrap this up soon. I wonder what the VM Workstation Pro looks like. Just out of curiosity. I'll have to do a live event probably on security and privacy, Windows, comparing Windows and Linux maybe one of these weekends, just to give you guys my thought. So Ubuntu Server has 8 options. Okay. The last one is if the button should be on the left. Well, why not have an extension that gives you a choice? I'm right-handed, so I would want to have it on the right, but that's just me. You have the Pro version, Liam. Okay. What advantages are there, if I may ask you? And how much was it, by the way? By the way, I downloaded this free trial of Perfect Disk Defragmenter, just out of curiosity. The one default one in Windows 10 is probably serviceable, will suffice, but the name caught me. Perfect Disk. Anyway, I'll have to do some more testing on this to give you guys my thoughts. $249.99. Okay, all right. You are right-handed but still prefer the Mac window button layout. Okay. I was watching a video yesterday. Somebody posted the very first, it was a Steve Jobs video introducing iPod to the world back in 2001. And there were a lot of people, of course now years later, a laugh at it. But back then it was so new and so ahead of its time. There were a lot of people in the audience who were somewhat stunned. Understandable. 30-day free trial? Okay, all right. But yeah, I believe the iPod is what saved Apple back then. Okay. Anything else, guys? Going to wrap this up here in about a minute or so. Thank you once again for stopping by. Thank you for over 7 years of the channel. I'll have to do a podcast with maybe with Quids Up or somebody else, talk about security with Linux. Maybe with Quids. He seems to know more in tune to this than I am. At least it didn't storm. I didn't have a lightning strike somewhere to knock me out. A lot of trees here. All right, guys. I think I'm going to wrap this up. So thank you for joining me on late notice. We'll definitely do it again. Don't know what the next topic. Maybe surviving YouTube. Maybe talk about a little bit about that. But that's it. Unless you guys have any other topics or questions for another brief few minutes, I am done. So thank you for stopping by. And subscribe and support the channel if you can. And as always, enjoy your technology. Watching this stream is the only thing I really did today. One of those days, empty strap? Okay. I did several things today. You should invest in getting a room on Freenode via RC. There is less delay. Okay. I might try VMware Pro. Yeah. I don't do a lot in VBox anymore. Gentleman, a scholar. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Fat Elvis. Thank you for the compliment. Greatly appreciated. So, Fat Elvis, I am leaving, and I know what you're gonna say. All right, guys. Thank you.